Okay, I get like anxiety if I don't get that going. Okay, so let's do some puzzles. Okay, 2480. That's not too bad. I guess I'm going to go full screen here. Okay, and I'm going to minimize chat so that I don't get any help. And here we go. Find the best move for black. Okay, interesting position. Holy moly. So the first thing that comes to mind is h5. Just because his queen is almost trapped, but he can always escape like this. But that's the very first thing that comes to mind. It's equal material, but yeah, I mean, obviously that queen is suspicious. Although h5, I'm dropping g5, so. But is that such a bad pawn to drop? Not. I mean, I've got, no, I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know if he wants to take on g6, I mean. Because I've got, now I have this discovery x-ray. So, I mean, just this alone looks pretty good. And then I've got this free move. But it would be weird if I'm right on the right off the bat. That would be weird. And what if if he does go to f7? Like maybe I could still trap him in there somehow, but that's probably wrong. Because because I think his queen's going to escape there now. You know, he just comes into here. So that's probably wrong. So I'm going to look elsewhere. The queen is hanging. I mean, the bishop is hanging. Like I don't care about pawns. I mean, well, first of all, I can't take obviously, but I don't care about like pawns here because I mean these two pieces stand out. Our knight has potential. Okay, okay. Maybe this is the first move I should have been looking at because it's a mate in one threat. Now this opens us up to a check, which would significantly slow us down. So you know what? I actually wonder if I do chase the queen and then we go here because now there's no check. So let's just give that an idea. Rook g8, queen f7, and knight f4. My throat is starting to go now. And that's looking interesting. So there's only two ways that he can stop mate here. Realistically, there's f3 and g3. Unless I'm missing something. Yeah, so if f3. Yeah, this is interesting. This looks like a reasonable line though. Because we prevent this check. This allows the discovery. So yeah, rook g8, queen f7, knight f4, f3. But it kind of ends there. I don't... Yeah, I think it ends there, but that was you know, that was a good idea. That's too bad. It's an interesting puzzle because I think it's going to have a good solution. Just the position makes me think it's going to have a nice solution. That was I thought I was getting close to something there. Boom, boom, because it lets us do the slow discovery. I already looked at 93 in my mind. Like I just don't see how that would work. 93 and FE. I don't see how that helps us in any remote capacity. His bishop is still oddly placed. I mean, okay, well, let's just, what if? What if we do play g5? G5, bishop, g3. How does that help us? It does not help us. I mean, I gave it a look. There's queen a5, you know, but I really I don't think we're going, it just can't be going after pawns. There's just no way. And that's from Somewhat Materialistic. Okay, we could look at trapping the queen again. What if we take away c7 first? Take away the queen's one flight square. And then, but the problem is, what's our follow-up? Oh, I think I might have found it. Maybe it is rook c7 first, and then we just go. Oh, sorry, rook f8. I mean, I don't know. How did I say rook c7? Maybe it is rook f8, and then we follow up with rook g8. And he can't take because then we get the bishop, you know. So that's looking a lot more promising. Now, what if we go after, or maybe I could force that because this leaves room for error. This leaves room for, not error, but leaves room for white to like attack us somehow. So what if we lead with this, and then he's forced to do this. So maybe rook g8, and if queen f7, rook f8, queen h7, and then rook h8, and then queen takes g6, and we might not even have to take the bishop at that point because we have discoveries again. This might be good too. The puzzle might end there. And the nice thing about that is but probably it's just taking the bishop, you know, and that looks pretty good. And I like that over rook c8 because again, rook c8, it gives white time to like deal. He could, like, for example, he could just play here. So I think we start this way, and we don't want to go with the d rook. Although we probably could. Oh wait, am I just completely stupid? Never mind. I am completely stupid. Damn. I forgot about just queen h6. I really thought I was onto something there. Although, it's still interesting though. Okay, well, let's look at that again. Shoot, I completely overlooked queen h6. Let's look at that anyways, because now, if he wants to avoid this little maneuver, he has to play queen h6. So now queen h6 is forced. And I'm wondering, is there a way for us to exploit that fact? We could almost play knight f4 there. Although it doesn't really... I mean, he could just play f3 or something. It's probably fine. Okay, so damn, that's twice now that I thought I was onto something. So rook g8, queen h6, g5, bishop g3. Actually, because of this, I think it might be better to do it this way. So, oh wait, you know what? I also forgot about this. Oh man. That's why I wanted to go here first. So I'm jumping around with ideas here, but this wouldn't work because queen c7. He can bail out here. So, oh boy, I'm missing a lot. So, yeah. So rook g8. It wouldn't have worked because he's got this. So, although I might have like e6, but I think he can just escape here. So I don't think that's going to work. I'm spending a lot of time on this. I'm spending a lot of time on this. I just want to look at g5 again. Whoops. Rook g8. Just because here it's possible that I could play e6. Maybe not. This might be good enough. I'm not sure. Or actually he could. No, he can't quite exchange. Okay, sorry. This is really confusing. There's a lot of complexity here. Yeah, I don't think I can hunt down the queen. Okay, let's ignore the queen again. Seems to have a lot of dead ends, but it's interesting. So the reason we don't like this, well, first of all, just f3. But you know what? If I move the knight, the nice thing is now is that, well, he can always still escape though about that. Okay, that doesn't work. Man, I'm really spending a lot of time here. I think this is still interesting though. I guess the issue is now queen h6 and g5, bishop g3, but I hit a huge dead end there. Like completely. So that's why my original plan of h5, that's why it was a first, oh, but then it drops. Well, no, can he do that though? That's a dangerous pawn if he takes that though. So let's say he bails out this way. But then I have knight f4, and if f3, well, that's when his queen starts to get in danger. Shoot, this is probably so boring to watch. And I feel a little bit of pressure to try to get it quicker because I know people are watching, but I think this must have a really interesting solution. E3 is even interesting just because we have this idea, and now this queen f7 isn't so great. How can I stop this escape route? I'd be pissed if no. Maybe it is the queen because I don't think like he always had like he always had, well I guess is F3 the actual only move because G3 just hangs mate. I guess F3 other than him trading rooks, pretend this rook isn't out there. F3 is the only move. So let's go down that hole again. Wait a second. This is a little interesting. What about that? Well, there's also this issue still. So hang on. What about like this? He can always go here though, but like how is it? And then G, I'm looking for something. See, I can't go here right away because I think it gives him too much time. That's why I was thinking of here first. And if he does pop out to F7, knight F4 puts me in the driver's seat again. However, if he goes to, let's do this because this is the more challenging line for us. But we could actually play G5 and then here. And then he has to play F3. And that's kind of interesting. And then did this win the queen? Interesting. So let's look at this. Boom. 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 He has to play no. Boom, boom, and then G5 to block the queen. And okay, but unfortunately this blocks our knight now. From going into F4. So bishop G3 blocks our knight. Although, you know what? I could then play knight F4. He can't actually take. Well, he might be able to take, but now I'm threatening mate again after GF. I'm threatening mate there, but he's probably okay just after F3. Close to something. Something's brewing. Boom, boom. Do I want to use that right away? Well, I have to, right? There's also knight F4 right away. If queen takes, then I have this fork. Although he's got this check though, unfortunately, which gives him time to then bring his bishop to defend. So boom, boom. I think like G5, probably G5. Because then I can also hit the queen. So G5, bishop G3, and then rook G6. His queen only has one square, but he does have a square. He has queen H3. No, he's got two squares. He has queen H3 and queen H5. Shoot. Could I change the move order? Could I play G5 first? And assuming he doesn't do this, which is annoying, could I then... No, that doesn't change anything. That changes nothing. And I'm trying to remember now, why did I think that he actually couldn't start like this? I already forgot. Man, I probably spent like 25 minutes on this. I'm not going to give up yet, anyways. G5. This is. I'd be surprised if anyone's watching this. Honestly, I'll be surprised. I'll be impressed. I thought I had a reason that he had to bail out on H3 on H6. I mean. Unless this was my first move, but. Okay, well, I know I got there from looking at this first. Yeah, because I wanted to move this rook, because my issue is knight f4 is, well, first of all, other than the rook trade, f3 is his only defense. That's why it's interesting to look at. And so maybe we allow the rook trade, but that seems, maybe it's interesting actually, because after rook takes, the mate's threat still exists. So he still has to play f3 because he has no checks or anything. So he has to play f3. Now let's reevaluate that position. That's interesting. I don't see what we could do though. It's interesting though, because it's again kind of forcing. Check. I don't see what we have there. Wow. Come on. Come on, Dizzy. Can't you figure this out? Let's look at the weird 93 again. I just don't see that working though, because he trades rooks. He takes my knight, and then I cry. I just don't see. I don't see how that's working. Okay, well, okay. I don't know. I mean, it's such a natural move to look at. And even if he plays f3, I don't know what I'm getting out of this. I've looked at it so many times. What is the answer? I keep looking at all of the forcing ideas. I wonder if I could play h5 follow up. Because now his queen is almost trapped, but he can always go back and forth still. So even if he played a move like h3, I can't actually trap his queen in there. He always has f7. What can I do about like the f3? Because I really want to bring the knight in there. What is the answer? What is the answer? Holy moly. Oh, I think I was planning this before. That was the idea. So knight f4. Okay, but pretending the rooks aren't... I keep going in circles here, but let's pretend he can't take my rook. If he plays f3, knight h5 does nothing. It does nothing. What if I plug this? I mean, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. Oh my god, this is getting quite annoying now. Okay, I'm going to look at rook f8 again. If he does nothing, then I have rook g8. And I get a bishop for 2 pawns. Do I though? Only if he takes. So if he does nothing, he can't do nothing, is my point. He can't do nothing. No, he can do nothing. If he does nothing and I play rook g8, he can just play queen h6. But yeah, so let's see that. Do we have anything after that? g5. I mean, we always get to this stupid thing, and then after rook, this does absolutely nothing. I've looked at it a million times. Oh, I don't want to give up on this. I've invested too much time. What the hell could it be? Rook g8, queen h6, g5, bishop g3. Or knight f4, rook d8, rook takes, and then f3 again. There's got to be something about that position that I can exploit. But it does not. It does not look possible. Bishop, go back. There's no way. Come on. What the hell is the answer? I'm close to giving up. I've got to have spent like at least half an hour on this. g5, bishop g3. And its queen has 2 squares. I'm going to look at that. g5, bishop g3. Rook f8, like rook df8. Queen h6. And he's out of there. g5, bishop g3, h5. h5, queen f7. So g5, bishop g3, h5 threatening h4. So let's say he plays h3 or h4. And then I've looked at all these lines a million times. I'm very close to giving up here, which is a real shame. It's got to be that one position, but you would think there'd be something where his pawn's on f3, right? Because everything goes to that. All points lead to that position, but there's nothing there. I've tried. the position I'm talking about is knight f4, rook takes d8, rook takes d8, f3. Or even with the rooks on the board, but that type of position. Is there something I'm missing about that? I do have knight h5 and knight e6 in those positions. But I'm threatening nothing when I do that. And his king is... It can be checked, but then he just goes to h1. So yeah, I'm extremely close to giving up now. I mean, I put in all my heart and soul into this. It'd be a shame to quit now, but yeah, I mean, I can't figure it out. Wait a second. I have an idea. What if knight f4, rook takes d8 check, rook takes d8? Oh, the problem is he gets a move there, right? But I had an idea. Okay, let me try it another way. Let's try rook g8. And then let's say queen f7. Then knight f4, f3, and then queen. Sorry, no. I would want the rook trade, right? Yeah, okay, sorry. So my idea then was knight f4, rook takes d8, rook takes d8, f3, and then queen takes c2. So I'll say that again. Knight c4, rook takes d8, rook takes d8, f3, queen takes c2, because I'm threatening mate now. I guess let's say he plays a move like bishop f2. It's interesting though, because I haven't looked at this line yet. So it's new. At least it's new, even if it's wrong. I'll do it one more time. Knight f4, queen. Knight f4, rook takes d8, rook takes d8, f3, queen takes c2, and then let's say bishop f2. That's not bad. Then I just start gobbling pawns. That might be the best line I've looked at so far. What could he do instead of bishop f2? I'm not sure if rook f2 is good. Rook f2, queen d5 check, maybe? Or just a knight. Sorry, let me look at something. Let me think. Knight f4, rook takes d8, rook takes d8, f3, queen takes c2. Threatening mate. Yeah, I think he only has two moves there, right? He has rook f2 and bishop f2. Those are the only moves to stop mate. So if rook f2, oh, I'm close. If rook f2, then queen on the back rank, and then he has to go rook f1, and then I have knight e2 check, and he has to play king f2. But that could be a problem for me. But this is looking promising, kind of. Knight f4, rook d8, f3, queen c2. And let's look at bishop f2. I think that might be the more challenging move. But bishop f2, I was if bishop f2, I might possibly have rook d8, but then his queen's going to give us lots of checks. But I think I could just start gobbling pawns, like then queen takes b2 type of thing. I'm going to go with that line and then just reevaluate in that position, but it might possibly end there. So, okay, so he starts with f3, which I forgot to look at this line, but I don't think it was. I think rook takes d8 was more important. So we got one move down. Now we got to start all over again here. See that? Yeah. Interesting. I forgot to calculate this line, but yeah, it wasn't as important. So maybe same thing. Queen c2. I can't play. No, I can. Queen c2, and then this might be it. Queen c2, and then I have knight e2. So queen c2. Yeah, it's queen c2 because I'm threatening the rook. Although he's threatening my rook. So queen c2, what if he plays bishop f2? But that has to be good for me, I think. Queen c2 and then it'd be funny if I'm around. But I'm going to go queen c2. I'm gobbling up pawns now. Yeah, and then here I go check. And then I take. I got it. Opening up chat. Oh man, 10 viewers. I got some viewers now. But oh god, I put a lot of freaking effort into that. Oh, that was work. That was only rated 2407. Thank you, Samboli. Did you watch the whole thing, Samboli? And that shows you how deep you got to calculate. But I don't know if you watched the whole thing, but oh man. That was work. The last 5 minutes, no, I think I spent about half an hour on that, maybe no more. I might have spent 40 minutes. I'll have to check after the stream is over how long I actually spent on that puzzle. I might have spent like 40 minutes on that, which is a good brain workout. That was tough. The problem is I didn't know where to look, and that was what made it so difficult. Because, you know, can you trap the bishop? Can you trap the queen? That took a good chunk of time. And then always underlying all of that was this knight f4, like this mate in one threat. And everything circled back to that position. Like everything just went back to that. And so eventually that's what I just kept looking at. And trying to make that position where f3 works for black. Now I think there was more challenging lines for white here, I think. For like it might not be the best puzzle because I don't think there's a huge knockout blow. Because I thought like bishop f2 requires a lot of things to consider. Actually, I think we have knight e2 there because after king h1, I can go queen takes rook. And then if rook takes, I've got rook takes, and then bishop g8, then it's mate. So let's see if I'm right. What was it? So this, yeah. Oh no, it's actually rook takes d1. So this I wouldn't. Oh, I can bring the rook back, right? Because I was worried about queen takes here, but I can just bring the rook back. But no, queen takes h8. Oh, sorry. So does this work? This is still winning too. So yeah. So there was too many options, and I think I probably could have even just started grabbing pawns at this point because like basically, yeah, white didn't really have a move. So that might have been. I don't know if that's the longest I've ever spent on a puzzle, but it's close. I think. I'll have to check how long I spent. And it's not the hardest puzzle I've done. But I'm happy I stuck with it. That's the real success story here. I didn't give up, although I was very close at the end because, I mean, you can't, how long are you going to spend? Like 10 hours?